Most people believe that the Enneagram is a personality typing system. And in this video, I kind of want to debunk it, but not in a way that what people believe is wrong. It's that it's only half of it. In this video, I really want to explain how the Enneagram is actually a map to you, that it actually explains awareness points that are in all of us. So basically, instead of trying to figure out which one you are out of the nine the most, you can really see what is missing from you. So in this video, I really want to explain how you are actually all nine and how the knowledge of this can truly help you to understand yourself, others, and also the reality that we are all a part of. So in order to understand this on a deeper level, I'm going to do two things. The first thing is going to be is that I'm going to incorporate different ways of understanding ourselves, such as the shadow work, meditation, past life regression, the polyvagal theory, twin flame connections. So I'm going to really try to put all of these into one, even including quantum physics. And the second thing is going to be is that I'm going to create a series out of this because this would be way too long for one video. So in this very first part, I really want to explain the basics of it. But before I would start this, I really want to, I would say, share a little bit about myself if you haven't seen any of my videos. And I really want to share this so you have a little bit of understanding where I am coming from. So at the very end of 2008, I had a Kundalini awakening, and this really, I would say, shifted my understanding, and I also started to channel things. And apart from channeling things from outside of our reality, which really scared me, I also started to see patterns automatically, and also when I saw something, my mind put it into order, took it apart and put it into order, and I couldn't really understand it. And these experiences, because I'm a very skeptical person, by the way, I'm open-minded but very skeptical. What I did was I actually went to see a therapist, and after that even other therapists as well, because I truly believed I was going crazy. And I even went to get brain scans multiple times, in total I think 9 or 10, because I wanted to prove I was going crazy, because that would have been, I would say, easier to accept than the reality I would say started to experience. So anyway, getting back to the Enneagram. When we generally see the Enneagram, we see a circle, and within that circle we see 9 different numbers, and these 9 numbers represent, I would say, 9 archetypes. It has different names, and with these different names it comes with, I would say, different fears and also with different gifts. And also we have to understand that these are on a spectrum. So for example, not every Enneagram 9 is going to be exactly the same. And also I would say that this gives us a diversity, because we all have 3 out of this 9, and we have 3 on every level. And these levels are coming from intelligence centers. We have an intelligence center that's called the head, we have one that's called the body, and we have the third one, that's the heart. And for everyone, one center is going to be the most dominant. But this is kind of, I would say, where our understanding really stops. Because first of all, this two-dimensional drawing doesn't explain why is it even 9, why is it not 6, why is it not 8, why is it not 10, why is it not? And I'm going to explain it to you, and after that I'm going to draw it down for you as well, so you can understand where we are heading, because that's the real, I would say, that's the real awareness when we can predict from existing knowledge. So first we have to see The energy is going to be the body. This is going to be the emotional part. This is going to be the nervous system. And when we get to this, we have to understand the polyvagal theory. In the polyvagal theory, we have a vagus nerve going from the back of the body to the head, and then we have another one that comes from the head down. But there is a third one, because this is three-dimensional. There is a third one, and that's in the middle, and that is the Kundalini line. And it's two-dimensional in my opinion, because it can be clearly felt when you have a Kundalini awakening. So it's not like you are thinking, it's extremely certain. But when you open up a person, there is no nerves there. So you only have the energy there. And by the way, that's the exact reason I believe that the problem with the Enneagram is that we see it on a two-dimensional paper instead as a three-dimensional something. I'm going to explain the three-dimensional part as well. But now just back to the 9 points. So we have 333 like this. This is I would say, the energy. And now we have another one that goes horizontal. And this is our awareness, I would say, types. On the very bottom, we have the reptile level. Over that, or on the top of it, we are going to have the attachment system or the mammalian system. This is going to be younger. And then the youngest one is going to be the primate level. And that's actually basically the head. And this is how we get the three centers. We have the gut, the heart, and the head. And we can see the centers. The head, the center is going to be 5. The center of the heart is going to be 4. And the center of the gut, it's going to be 1. But in reality, we call it God. But when you feel the, I would say like these feel like little balls, when they start sinking, you can very clearly feel them. And you can very clearly feel also the Kundalini line, and you will know that it's actually not in the God. It's actually where there is a split between females and males. And another interesting thing about these 3 different ones, Enneagram 5, 4, and 1, that these are the most introspective. So these, I would say, make you the most inward looking as well. And now when we see the other parts, we can see that where 1 is, so that's the central, that tries to balance it between 8 and 9. These are down. These are in the first level. These are in the reptile system. 1 level above that, we get the emotional part, anything that's close to attachment. So we have 2, that's at the back of the body, and we have 3, that's on the front of the body. This is going to be the social one. And when you look into the vagus nerve, you will see that this is the one that's the social part of the vagus nerve. And when you think about 3, that's the most social, emotionally. It craves admiration. And on the top level, this is the head. We have 5 as the center. And then we have 7 as at the back of the head. This is, I would say, the more emotional part of the brain. This is the one that craves experiences. And then we have the overcorrection of that. So these are, as you can see, these are dualities. We have the suspicious one. We have the one that doesn't trust itself, and it doesn't want experiences. It wants rules and order. This is the one that tries to predict. This is the one that craves safety. So we have these 9 parts. But in reality, it's not 9, it's 6. And then we have 3 that are actually centers. These try to balance these dualities, and also not just the dualities on that level, but also these centers try to, I would say, be balanced as well. Because the idea is that everything is going to be equal and everything is going to work together, I would say, equally. There is nothing that is dominant, because when you are able to type yourself, it means that out of the 9, whatever comes up, this is what the most dominant in you. This is, I would say, your conscious part. This is what is basically your ego, your idea about yourself. And then you are going to have an underlying part, and these are the ones that we feel as these are our wings. That for some people it's like, yeah, maybe it's similar to B. For some people it gets so close that they don't really know, for example, if they are a 5 or if they are a 6. And I would say this is the subconscious part that supports this conscious part. And that's why the structure is going to be so close. That's why the structure is going to be, I would say, so strong. But the problem is that those other parts as well that you don't even see in yourself, they are in you, but they are repressed. So this is in your unconscious because you don't believe this is you. And secondly, this is your shadow. These are the parts that you left behind at certain times during your lifetime. Maybe at an age of 1, maybe at an age of 5, maybe 12, whatever. But these are these parts that you repressed, or maybe later on as an adult you realize this part of me is not good. I don't like this type of behavior. I want to change. And in order to change, you have to use anger to repress a part. So basically you make a decision. Do you want to be this or do you want to be that? And this is a very good step, to be honest, because you are able to experience a different version of yourself. But the problem is that many people think that's not a realization, it's a false realization that this new version of me is so much better than this old version. The old version is bad. And this is how they change. There is this split, I would say, adult when they grow up and they believe, okay, now I'm aware. I become aware this is bad and I'm going to be this other version of myself that was in my shadow, or it didn't even exist. It doesn't really matter. But the problem is that they change one split person into another split person. So in order to overcome this, you have to look back to your previous one and you have to accept it, because the idea is that you have all working at once, because it doesn't matter which part you are on. If it's only working on its own, it's not going to be, I would say, good enough in a sense, because every part has weaknesses and every part has gifts. And the idea is that when you have all working at once, you will have all gifts, but you also have the awareness of the weaknesses. And one part can overcorrect the other part's weaknesses. So in my next video, I'm going to explain which Enneagram types are going to be in the second dimension. And then I'm going to explain how they are actually creating these different Enneagram types on the third dimension. And I'm going to draw down a structure that I can see. And from that structure, we can see exactly how from this second dimension goes into third, and how this is going to go even further into fourth, and how it's going to create a new type of consciousness that is going to be able to hold a duality that we could see as 2 3-dimensional people. And the idea is that we get out of this pyramid type of awareness, because the awareness we have when we grow up, it's going to be the top of the pyramid. We see ourselves in one way and we get connected to one way of behaving, one way of experiencing of reality. But as soon as we have the ability to move away of it, and we have the ability to, I would say, change the energetic part that's in the body that is connected to a different mental part, as soon as we are able to integrate this, we can have, I would say, a very different type of internal communication, a very different type of perceiving reality, and also a Kundalini awakening. And I'm saying it from experience. I hope this video was helpful for you, and see you in my next video.